So welcome everyone to today's interesting section. Welcome everyone to today's interesting section. Let's start joining as we go live in today's interesting section. So we'll be looking at this interesting important conversation. This airdrop, this new airdrop that has been launched, that is going to be launched in a few days from now on Gate.io. So if you're yet to if you're just joining us for the first time, you're welcome. I know that a lot of people are actually joining us for the first time. So you're all welcome to today's interesting and wonderful section. Please, in the next 3 days, in this project, I'm actually going to be analyzing on Gate.io in the next 3 days. Let me just say 4 days or thereabout is actually going to be launched on Gate.io, in which you can currently trade it. So now it's just advisable for all this kind of project for you to actually get them early. And there's actually place in which you can actually go take and benefit from the airdrops when it comes to airdrops and all that. And I would like to be taking you guys on how to actually get these airdrops, how to participate in these airdrops that we're actually talking about in the course of today's session. So it is very, very important that we actually take note of all those points when talking about what project are we actually going to be analyzing? Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to today's interesting session. Please, I'm waiting for your comment on the chat box. Let me see your comment on the chat box to show you are online with us and ready to write on with what we are talking about in the course of today's section. If you have any question along today's section, please you are free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we move ahead in the course of today's session. Please, if you have any question whatsoever, you're free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we move ahead in the course of today's section. So it is very, very important that we take note of all these important points. So welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to today's interesting section. Welcome everyone to today's so I will actually be taking you guys on how to actually get this project, this to actually get this project on Gate.io, the airdrop coming on board. So let's go about it. So you can see it here. We have different kind of projects we have here. We have different kind of projects we have currently have on Gate.io. But we'll actually be looking at this. This is the one we're actually going to be looking at in the course of today's section. Now, looking at this project, what are they? What are they actually really all about? You can see the platform SmarDex. SmartDex is a kind of a defy the norms and order in the marketplace. And also, now, how do you actually get started? In few minutes, I'll actually be giving you guys what you need to know about the startup. How to actually like we can see here, the startup description is actually free. User can claim token for free, and the IVIP, there are actually different stages in which you can actually get um airdrops from this project. And one of the ways is actually to log into your account. You just need to first log in. If you're yet to log in into your Gate.io, maybe you're joining me through my other social platform when I send the link out. So if you're not joining, you have to first log into your account. When you log in, now the second step is for you to hold more than 10 USD spot assets and all that, and claim zero for free when looking at. So you can actually come to this place and actually claim it for free. And also immediately it's been launched, in which in the is going to be launched is going to be opened fully on Gate.io in the next, let me just say, in the next 3 days thereabouts. It's actually going to be launched fully on Gate.io. So right now, if you're looking for when is the right time to actually go into to do it now, and also confirm the available share and click claim now. So it's actually very, very simple for you to actually go on board to actually claim when looking at it on the real sense. And you can see it here, we have 2 days. You can see it around this area here. We have 2 days here. We have 2 days, 9 hour, 2 days, 9 hour, 46 minutes and 28 seconds is going by. So you can actually when you log in your account, you can actually click on notify me. So when you click on notify me, you are actually going to get a notification when it's been officially launched. And also, now what is this project? We have to understand what the project is actually really all about, because how before we go into we have to understand, okay, this project that is new on Gate.io, that is about to be launched on Gate.io. What is the project really about? What are the basic information that we need to know? Like, okay, you can see it here in this place. You can see 3 days, 34. There will be 3 days, 13 hours, 11 minutes, and the seconds is actually very is reading and so all these are actually basic point that we need to know when looking at this project. What are they really all about? Now, the SmarDex now is actually an innovative decentralized exchange developed through 2 years of research by the team of independent research out of the EPFL, European top ranking university. So it's actually developed by like a form of European top university, and it's just like researchers in the university that actually came and they've actually done a lot of research over the years, innovative decentralized exchange in which they actually developed over the last, doing a lot of research by the team just to create this unique project that is actually launched on Git, or that is actually going to be launched on Git. So the groundbreaking technology support by a scientific paper not only maximize implement losses but but often creates impermanent gain. Now, also the SmarDex advanced logarithm dynamically and adjust liquidity pool ratio, ensuring fair reward and also foster the balanced ecosystem for liquidity providers. The platform offers users a friendly interface, allowing users to experience level of efficient trade by providing better incentive for liquidity providers. And also, apart from providing something for the liquidity providers, they actually also help in also in looking at the competitors and what's actually happening in the ecosystem. And so the smart decks actually pave a way for more profitable and sustainable decentralized financial experience. That is what they're actually trying to, that is what they're actually going to be doing, when that is what the project is actually really all about, when looking at the ecosystem or trying to get, okay, what is this project actually talking about, what is it really all about. So these are all important factors that we need to take, that we need to talk about, that all that we need to take note of when looking at the project, when trying to analyze what the project is actually really. I believe you guys are following me in the course of today's section. Please and please, if you have any question along the way, please and also, lest I forget, you have to actually be, or if you are just, please let me see your comment on the chat box, please. If you are listening to me, I just noticed we have few people actually join, watching me right now. So if you're just joining me, please can you comment on this chat box, and you for you to actually claim this token, that's smart deck, you have to be online for almost for you have to be live with me for more than 10 minutes for you to be able to partake in this airdrop that we're actually talking about. So it is very, very important that we take note of this factor when looking at the project and others. So please, if you're here to join me, please let me see your comments on the chat box to show that you are online with me and ready. So looking at this here, looking at this and the decks starting get.io start up free offering. You can see the information here, you can see information for startup, you can see the starting supply. Just imagine, look at the starting supply here, unlock rule 100% unlock and all that. So this is actually introduction to what they're actually really all about. And also we have this the highlighting the kind of vision, what is their vision of the project, what are they, so all this is actually what is actually going to source. That's why I tell you that a project like this coming on Gate.io is not just any kind of project that will just, it's not any kind of project that's just coming on board that don't have utility, that won't last long. I know that is a project that actually going to show a strength of time and proving to be actually something good that you can actually invest in when you can. So all these factors are actually very, very important that we need to actually take note of when looking at the project. What are they really all about? How can we actually go about them? And that is very, very important. And also, you can see the founder. We also have the founder name is James. James also is actually it has been a fastest by computer technology and also network security and cryptography from the early age. Enthusiast about Bitcoin for a decade and also about DeFi for years. He dedicates the tech vision of the smart dex team by in the day-to-day work, surrounded by ethnic team of engineers we're looking at. So he actually surrounded himself, he has been someone that has actually been in the system and actually surround himself with people that actually knows how the system interpret what they need, what you need to know when looking at the system and other. So let's look at introduction to what this project is actually really all about on Gate.io. Now, SmarDex is actually an innovative decentralized exchange developed through 2 years of research by the team of independent researchers throughout the EPFL, European Top Rank University. Now, the meaning of EPFL is actually European Top Rank University. So it's actually a top ranking researchers that actually came together to actually bring about this project. Team of engineers, researchers, and others to actually bring this project to light. Now, the groundbreaking technology support by the scientific paper not only maximize implement losses but also create implement gain. Now, the SmartDex advanced logging the dynamically adjust liquidity pool ratio, ensuring a fair rewarding and also foster the balanced ecosystem liquidity provider when looking at the ecosystem, which is one important point. And also we have that is why we can see it there. We have that this actually the site in which you can actually go and check out the site on what they're actually doing. You can see the site there. You can see now you can say define the form. Now you define the norms. That is just what they have here. We have here. I think this is actually their motto. Define the norms and order. This is actually their motto that we have here. Now, one thing that okay, someone is asking a question. Okay, they said that this thing so is the live QR code available? Yes, it's actually available. It's actually available. You can actually get it. You can actually go to my profile. You can actually go and share the link if you want to actually share this program that we actually you can actually go and share it. You can actually share it if you want to. You can actually share it right now if you want to share this program. There's live streaming that we are on currently, and also we are currently on Twitter. I actually have posted this link on Twitter, so you can actually go on to actually check out this link right now and join me live if you want to share it for anyone that's interested in joining us live. So all this are actually very all these actually important point that we need to take note of when looking at this project. And so now this is actually the site. This is actually the site that we have here. This is actually the site. So what can we take note from this site that we have here? Let's check. Yes, now we can see the smart dex is leading innovation for liquidity providers and traders who want to stay ahead of the game, and then you can see who want to stay ahead of the game. So they're trying to bring about an innovation for they're trying to bring about an innovation in the ecosystem that makes it more easier for a lot of people to actually make use of for to transact, and that which is one important factor that we must take note of when looking at the ecosystem. And these are all important techniques that we must take note of when looking at the current when looking at the ecosystem. What are they really all about? And other. Please and please, if you're just joining for the first time, please kindly comment on the chat box so that I will know that you are live with me as we keep going live in the course of today's session. Please, if you're just joining for the first time, you can kindly comment on the chat box so that I will know you guys are live with me as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's session. So now look, this is actually we are currently on their site. We're currently on the website dex smartdex .io. You can actually go to smartdex.io and actually check them out. And also you can actually we currently have it on gate.io, in which you have, if you're yet to sign up, and there are different stages for it to actually get this airdrop, because it's actually an airdrop that's actually coming on board, and there are different ways in which you can actually get this participate in these airdrops when looking at it. And the first way is actually join me live in my section, actually stay with me to up to 10 minutes more or more than that, so that so that we all will enjoy this live section as we keep moving ahead in the course of today. So all these are actually important points that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem. What are they really all about? Now you can see it here. Let's go ahead. You can see now with a sophisticated this we have here. You can see with a sophisticated fine line touch logarithm, SmartDex platform implement losses and also implement gain in the market space. And you can see it here. We have here, welcome to the next generation of DeFi. lower fees, better profit, and fully decentralized. This is actually what they're actually really all about. You can see it here, trying to make a way ahead of the ecosystem to bring something that is actually very usable to the ecosystem, and other trying to correct, okay, looking at the different ecosystem, how can we actually, and let's look at, we're actually going to be looking at more deeper. I'm just trying to talk about the surface to also get understanding about what the project is actually really all about. What are we talking about when looking at the project on its real sense and other? It is very, very important that now we can see it here. You can see the SmarDex is actually a true next generation of DeFi platform, providing reliable ROI and also relieving real value through its unmatching innovations. For liquidity providers, SmarDex provide a unique solution to implement losses, and something that no other platform that has succeeded to do till now another. So they're actually trying to look at something that no other platform has actually tried to do. No other platform has actually try to actually bring into the market. You can see now, based on this, the farm of the highest, look at the top highest ROI in the market. You can say based on, we have Smart, we have BNB, we have Ethereum, Tron One, we have Ethereum, we have Polygon, and the other. You can see the ROI. You can see we have 63%, 60, I mean 56%. We have 52%, we have 51%, and so all these are actually very, very important that we need to all these are actually important factor that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem, when looking at what are we actually talking about, how can we actually go about it. When so all these factors are actually, when looking at this ecosystem, what, because it is I do tell you guys that before you go into any project, it is very, very important for you to understand what the project is really about, what is the utility behind the project, what are they trying to build before you go into, or before you invest in any place. It's very, very important that you understand all these basic factors before you go ahead in investing in any project whatsoever, what the project might be, and that all these points are actually very, very important that we need to actually take note of when looking at the project, when looking at how we can actually go about it and all that. So let's go ahead to talk more on this project to get more analysis, to get better analysis. Let's come here again to check more analysis. Let's come here again. Um, let's go to coin market cap to actually check more. You can see it on coin market cap is currently rated at 0.009. That is what is 0.009, and the market has actually been in a bullish storm right now. You can see the market, and also it's actually going to be boosted because now it's been listed on gate.io. It's actually going to increase the boost of the market. When looking at it, it's actually going to be boosted because it's actually going to be on gate.io, which is one important factor that we must take note of when looking at the market space. It's actually going to be listed on gate.io, which we're actually going to, I'm expecting the market to actually cancel with, maybe when it's boosted on gate.io, we might likely see it move from this area here in the next 3 days. We might likely see move from to this area that we have here, which is 0.001 or thereabouts in the market space. So all these are actually important that we need to take note of when looking at this project, when looking at what are they really about, how can we actually go about them, and it's very, very important that we take note of all these factors when looking at this project and others. So you can see it here from this area here. You can see it's moved from this area here to up to this area here. You can see this massive move that we got in a very short of time, and immediately it's been, and it has actually, the all-time high of this market has actually gotten 89%, 90% when talking of profit from the market over this little time that it has traded and all that. And the reason about all this is that because of now it's actually going to be launched on Gate.io, where that is why a lot of people are actually investing a lot of money trying to key into it, get airdrops and other, which is actually a good sign for you to actually go into the market when looking at the ecosystem. What are they really all about? All these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem. What are they really all about? And so I'm actually very bullish on this. You can see the market here. You can see on where we actually have them here. You can see it here. You can see it here. We have it here. You can see them here. So it is actually now. Is it a good time to actually go into the market here? It's actually, I will tell you that it's actually a good time to actually go into the market when looking at this project. And that all these factors are actually very, very important. Now let's go in. Let's do a little bit of technical analysis about this project. Let's do it. I believe everyone can see my screen. Okay, let me check. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, everyone can actually see my screen. So if I bring this line here, you can see the all-time high here. This the wing here got to 0.01, in which I still believe is likely still going to come to this area here. Yes, I still believe the market is going to come up to this area here. You can see this push that we are noticing in the market. I still believe it's actually going to come up to this area here. Now we have this area, this point here in the market. Looking at the market from this area here. So now from this alone, what is the next action plan of the market? Now, if you notice what we actually have here, if you notice what is actually happening here, you can see from this area here, you can see the move in the market. You can see the move in the market. You can see the move in the market. And if I bring this here again, you can see still giving the same line again here in the market. I believe everyone can see what is currently going on in the market here. You can see the movement of the market, what is actually going on in the market. And also all those points here, all these areas here are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market, when looking at the market movement, what we need to take note of this. How can we actually be in control of the market? It is very, very important that we take note of all those factors when looking at the market movement, what is actually happening in the market, how can we actually take control of the market when looking at it on the real sense. So you can see the movement of the market from this area here to this area here. So now what is the prediction price of the market? Where do we actually see the market moving? How do we actually see, okay, see this is how the market is moving? And okay, let me just draw it from this area here. You just imagine we have this move here. It came here, it came here. We had a break up here. Let's continue to right. It came down here. Now it gave us push that we notice here. It gave a little bit here. We saw a push again in the market. We saw a push again around this area in the market here. It broke it, came down again, created another wind. It came up to this area here. All this you can see it actually broke. You can see you can see the structure here. It broke the structure, came to this area here. You can see the structure in which it broke, came to this area here. And from this area, it came down here again in the market. And so all these points here are actually very, very important. Now, from this area again, it came here. We can see what is actually happening here in the market. We saw a top here, again here. So this area here again in the market. So all those points here are actually very, very important that we now we can see it came down from this area again. You can see this downward move, this move that we notice in the market, and you can see this downward move that we notice in the market. But from this area here, once you can see this push that we notice here from this area here, you can see the push. This was around yesterday, today, thereabout, that actually gave out this push that we noticed in the market. And other. So there was actually a lot of input in the market when looking at it on the real sense. And other. Well, I'm still expecting it still coming down to this area. Then we'll actually see some push a little bit in the market and other. So now from this area here, Let's draw it. Let's see what is actually happening in the market. Okay, so I'm actually expecting the market to come up to this area here, up to this area here, this which is 0.1. 0.1 here. I'm actually expecting the market to come up to this area here, which is around 0.1 in the market. This area here, 0.1 in the market and other. So this is actually how the market is actually because now looking at the way the market has been moving, what is actually happening in the market, and it's very, very important for us to understand all these factors here are actually very, very important for us to actually understand, for us to take note of when and if we're looking at the markets here. Let's bring this again. Let's check the indicators. Let's check the indicators here. All these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of. All these are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market movement, what is actually happening. You can see it, you can see the market movement, you can see the strength that we are noticing in the market. You can see out from this area here, you can see the movement of the market. So I'm actually still expecting a push in the market up to this area here and other in the market, and which will actually give us a sign. Immediately it's been launched. Immediately it's been launched, we are likely going to see a massive push in the market. So all this now, let's go ahead, let's check the relative strength index. Relative strength index. Let's check the latest trend index of the market. And also all these points are actually, but you can see the relative strength index of the market. You can see it's actually below 50, if I'm right. Yeah. It's exactly below 50. It's above 50, sorry, in the market. And all these are actually very, very important. You can see when it was actually, it came into the market around May, if I'm right. It came into the market around May. That was where it came into the market. And it got to this area here. The all-time high that it got to was around this area here. We can see it, which it gave it's 86. It actually gave 86% in the market. Right now it's down up to this area here in the market, in which we are likely still going to see a push because it's actually going to be launched on one of the biggest platform, biggest exchange on the market space, which is Gate.io, which will actually likely going to cause this a massive move in the market. So if you are looking for a project to actually invest in, this is actually a very good project for you to actually look at. So all these actually important conversation that we need to take note of when looking at the market space. What are they really all about? How can we actually go about? What are the various factors that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market space, and what is the market saying? What do we need to? You can see it here from this area here. You can see is it, look at this line that I actually gave you. It has actually touched this movement. We're actually still going to see a push in the market. So it is very, very important that we understand, that we take note of all these factors. All these factors I'm actually talking about are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market movement, when looking at what is actually happening in the market space. How can we actually take control of the market when looking at it? It's very, very important that we take note of all these factors when talking about the market space. We're talking about how the market is moving and all that. It is very, very important that we take note of all this. I believe you guys are actually getting what I'm actually dishing out to you guys in the course of today. Please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box, in which Justice is going to. Please, if you're yet to follow my profile, if you're yet to join us live, please can. And also, I remember I told you guys you can actually just you can come to this area and just set your notification, so that whenever the launch is actually going to be happening few days from now, so that whenever the launch is actually going to be taking place, you will be notified, so that you won't miss out on the market space, what is actually happening in the project in the market space. So you can see it's actually coming. You can see 3 days and few hours left for the market for it to actually be launched on this wonderful platform, in which right now is the right time for it to actually look into going to the market to actually venture into it. And so all these are actually very, very important. You can see their vision. What is the vision of this project? Now, the Smart is actually a groundbreaking DEX that uniquely empower liquidity provider to kind of that empowers liquidity providers to achieve implement gain, offering on space. Its superiority over other decks is not just a claim, but it's verified non-on-chain use for innovative mathematical solution, making SmarDex a game changer in the DeFi ecosystem. And also, all these are actually very, very important that we need to take note. And I do tell you guys that before you look at any project, there are basic information that you need to take note of before investing in any project. And one of them is the looking at the project itself, looking at, okay, what is the utility of this project? What is the market really all about? You can see the all-time now. Let's check the all-time high of this project and the all-time low. I've actually showed you in this area here the all-time high, the all-time low of this project. But let's get more analysis about. You can see it here based on this area. You can see how when it was launched, how it has been moving. And okay, so from this area here, you can see it here around 0.006, and then right now it's moved to 0.001 thereabout. Now right now you can see it's back to 0.008 and thereabout. So now, is it likely going to supersede the 0.0? Yes, it's actually likely going to supersede the 0.0. It's going to still break this one that we have here in the market, which we need. Now, looking at the total supply in the market, looking at the maximum supply in the market, all these factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at this project, when looking at what the project is actually really all about. And you can see the total maximum supply in the market. You can see it. You can see the amount that is actually diluted, just 689,089 thereabouts is actually diluted, which is around the volume of the market is around 2.9% in the market space and other. You can see the volume in 25. So you can see a lot of people is actually trading on the markets. We're trying to buy this space because you can see the volume trading in just 25 hours alone. You can see the market cap of the market, what is actually happening in the market. So all these are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market space, when looking at what are the projects, what are they actually building, what is this, what are they really all about. You can see it. You can see it. I've actually talked about it. We said that, okay, let me just. You see, smart is actually a poison of evangelize in the world of DEX with an innovative approach by introducing a simple yet efficient technology that optimizes implement loss and also some cases even generates implement gain. Now, SmartDex is paving a way for obsolescence of old generation DEX such as Uniswap mathematical proof behind this technology is compelling. Now, leaving no doubt to this efficiency, the small success of SmartDex protocol underscore the importance of ongoing research and innovation in the DeFi space, opening up new possibilities for users, developers, and also investors alike. The next logarithm stuff is promoting adoption of game-changing technology and exploring a vast potential. As a liquidity provider, is better than incentive fees are reduced from 0.3% from financial DEX to 0.07% from smart DEX. Now, and 0.05% from LP and 0.02% for XDEX token pool, which we currently have on Gate.io, which you can actually look into. And also, thanks to SmartDex, both liquidity provider and users wish to swap their token benefit from the best market condition on the planet and others. So all these are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market space. What are they with? What are they building? What are they really all about? How can we actually go about them? You can see it here. We have liquidity providers, we have farming, we have staking and others. So all these are actually, you can see they are actually trying to, these are actually the solution they're actually trying to produce offer in the market. And the first one is the liquidity provider in the liquidity providing in the market. We also have, apart from liquidity providing in the market, we also have the farming. Apart from the farming, we also have staking. All these are actually a very, very important point that we need to take note of, that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem, when looking at what are they really about, how can we actually take control of the market when looking at all these actually very, very important points that we need to take note of when looking at the market space or when looking at the ecosystem on what they are actually talking about. So let's go ahead to take more analysis to get more updates on what we're actually talking about, what the you can see from this area here. You have the liquidity provider, and what does the liquidity provider, what does it does here? We can see now no more market condition that kills you slowly with implement losses. Smart DEX, one point that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem and also looking at the farming himself. The key to realizing your financial goal, unlocking financial growth through crypto farming. And the planet plant your seed and watch it grow. So I just need to just plant your seed and actually watch it grow. And also here, also we have here again in the market, we have benefits that is taken. Now benefit from the dynamic market and on matching swap power of minerals fee and liquidity provider, always ready to provide you with the smallest possible scale, shape, and order when looking at the market space. So all these are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem. What are they? We can say how does this actually work? And also now the smart is actually an individualized of DeFi space by tracking the persistent issue of implement loss. Our underground underbreaking technology allows liquidity provider to earn smart return while giving users access to best opportunities in the market, which is one important point that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem. What are they really all about? How can we actually go about it? And also all these are actually very important points that we need to take note of when looking at the market space, when looking at how can we actually go about them, what is it really. So you look at the white paper again, looking at what the white paper is actually looking at what the white paper is actually really all about, looking at what the white paper is actually. So all these points are actually very, very important. Let's open the white paper. Let's see. Now, looking at the white paper here, looking at the white paper, I believe everyone can see my screen here. Looking at the white paper himself. Let me bring it closer. Everyone can see it clearly. Now, so this is actually the white paper that we have currently. And now let's get what do we have on the white paper. Let's check the white paper out. Now you can see it here. We have the protocol. You can see that here we have the protocol here. You can see it here, the SmarDex protocol. That is what we actually have here. An innovative innova solution for implement losses in decentralized finance and all that. That is what they're actually trying to solve. That is a problem they're actually trying to solve. And all that you can see the mathematical, the YDX and all that we have in that we actually noticing in the market what they're actually trying to build and all that. Let's go ahead. Let's see more. Let's check it. A solution they're actually trying to get, okay, how it was actually created and what actually brought about it. And you can see these are all what we have here in the market space. And also all these are actually very, very important. This is actually a solution trying to look at what they're actually building and all that is very, very important. You can say the solution, the protocol on what they're actually trying to do on each of them. And all these are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the echo. It's very, very important that we take note of all those points when looking at the market space or when looking at how we can actually go about them. What are the basic information that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem? Now this is actually, now looking at this, okay, this is actually the protocol himself. Looking at it, looking at the white paper himself, looking at the technologies, looking at what they're actually doing. This is actually what they're actually really all about. This is actually now looking at, let's get more understand, let's get more view about what the market is saying. Let's get more view about what the market is saying. So all these are actually very, very, you can actually go on smartdex.io and get more information about what they're actually really all about. It's very, very important that we go and check and get more updates about what the project is actually really all about. All this is actually very, very important that we need to out. It's very, very important that we take note of all these factors when looking at the market space or when looking at what they are actually building, what in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today. Please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's section. Is very, very important. Now, okay, what are the points? What are we actually talking about? What are the points that we're actually talking about here? Now you can see it, reward community. How do they actually reward communities? Now you can see it here. You can see it here. You can see the address here. All this swap token. Looking at the swap token. Look at it. Swap your ELC token and save on fees on every transaction. I know that, which is one important point that we must take note of. You can see the SmarDex built a traditional automated market maker framework offering a key advantage of the ARC token is actually built on the ARC protocol. Looking at it on the real sense, it's actually built on the ARC protocol. Its proven calculation provide a substantial reduction of fees compared to existing conventional AMM protocol. When looking at it, you can see it here. You can see the RMPC that is actually being saved. You can see the protocol here. You can see what they're actually building. All these are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem. What are they really all about? You can see the concept here. You can see it's actually a decentralized protocol offering users a vast selection of ERC token, actually offers users a vast selection of ERC token and allow them to trade without relying on centralized exchange. So it actually provide them a kind of a very good ecosystem and a community that actually that allows them to actually trade without actually relying on the centralized exchange. Now looking at centralized exchange, that means you are not in control of your finance and all that. So it actually gives them kind of opportunity to be in control of their of your finance going into the ecosystem. So all action executes their direct reflect personal on the personal paper or the personal wallet, ensuring complete ownership of your coin, your key, and also the performance of the swap. Afford now swap your coin on this thing. You can see the token here on. You can see say approve this thing in which you can actually go and work on right now when looking at the ecosystem. So all these are actually it is very, very important that we take note of all these points when looking at the ecosystem or when looking at what they're actually really all about. And all these points here are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the. Please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's session. Please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of. Please, if you have actually stayed in this section up to this particular moment, not up to for the past how many minutes, for the past up to how many minutes have I been live? Sorry, I don't actually know. So up to 40 minutes plus that I've actually been live. If you've been live with me, please you can actually comment on the chat box and other so that I will know you guys are live with me as we keep moving ahead in the course of today. So all these points are actually all these are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem, when looking at what are they really all about, how can we actually take control of the ecosystem when looking at it on the real sense, and all these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem and other. So what are the other points that we need to take note? Okay, let's check here. Let's get more view about what the market is actually talking about. Let's get more view about what the market is actually talking about. Now, if coming here, looking at this area here that we have here in the market, you can see this area. Let's check what we have here. Let's check what we have here. You can see here, you can see what they actually said here. You can see now the SmarDex is actually an innovative decentralized exchange developed through 2 years of research by the team for independent researchers out of the European top ranked universities. Now, the underbreaking technology supported by scientific paper not only maximize implement losses, but also offer and create implement gain in the ecosystem and other. You can see the SmartDex advanced logarithm dynamically adjust pool liquidity ratio, ensuring fair reward and fostering a balanced ecosystem of liquidity providers. And the platform offers user-friendly interface, allowing users to experience level of efficient trading. Now, by providing better incentive for liquidity providers when looking at the ecosystem. And also all these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem. What are they building? What are they really all about? It's very, very important that we take note of all these points when looking at please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today. Please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today. It is very, very important that we take note of all these factors. All these factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of. Like I said earlier, let me just give a kind of a rundown on what I've said so far. Like I said earlier, if you're yet to actually get a startup, like for example, now this is actually what I'm actually talking about is actually a project startup on get.io, and we have a lot of them that you can actually look into. Now the first thing is actually go to get.io and check out the project startup, and when you click on, you can see this is actually the way you actually see the platform. You can see the token launch platform, innovative and advances project. This is actually a site, a place on get.io in which latest project is actually being published, later project coming on board. This is where they are actually being published for users and all that. And one point you can see it say based on this area here, you can see based on what do we have here, you can see 833 project has been launched. You can see the amount that has actually been involved in the market. You can see how many people that have actually been 12 million 800, and the people that actually, you can see the amount that's actually been donated into the market. When looking at it, you can see it's actually currently, since it's actually been in process, but the one that we're actually focusing, this is the one that we're actually focusing on, which you can actually claim airdrops. When look this, you can actually come here and claim airdrop. When looking at it, you can see it's here. You can see how do you actually now claim this airdrop. These are all important points that we need. So how to actually participate in this? So now all users need to grab, all users can actually grab, everyone listening to me right now, you can actually grab this airdrop that I'm actually talking about. And the total of 200 and 2,000, sorry, 220,500 is actually $1,000 is actually going to be distributed in the market space. So now users have to get 100% of users. If VIP users can actually get up to 100%. If you're a VIP user, you can actually get up to 100% of this airdrops when looking at it. So all this, so if you're actually a VIP user and you're listening to me currently, this project I'm actually talking about, you can actually get 100% of this project when looking at the ecosystem and all that. So right now is the right time for you to actually go right now and actually participate in this project and other, because right now is the right time for you to actually go into the ecosystem and participate in this project when looking at it. And apart from you getting 100% of this, now for those people that, for you guys that are not yet VIP, you can actually get through lottery. There is non-VIPs. You can actually get this project through lottery and thereabouts in the market space and all that. And also, three-fold users hold no less than 10. Now, also, if you actually hold nothing less than 10 USDT in your wallet, you can actually get this airdrops when looking at the ecosystem. And also, all these are actually very, very important that we need to actually, all these are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem. And so these are actually rules. Now, looking at startup rules and easy to claim, these are actually rules in which you can actually follow in actually gaining this project. This now you can see main update for startup participation rule for VIP users. For airdrops projects, after subscription, sufficient balance are not required for the token. You can say users can upgrade to VIP level for orders and other distribution of the token and others. Rules from, you can see the rules and others. So you can actually come to here and actually check all the basic information that you need to actually, now you can see note, let me read this out. Note, previous rules for non-VIP users are guaranteed for 3 shares of the airdrops at admonished in the upgrade. After the upgrade, non-VIP users with sports trading is no longer less than $10 can directly participate and receive airdrops if they win. All existing subscription share rule for participation or for value remains users remain unchanged and order, and they are eligible to receive airdrops with 100% guarantee in the ecosystem and the highest of the VIP level, and more startup airdrop shares can be subscribed them and order. So all this now new rules of effect were actually I was actually taking, and so it is very, very important that we take note of all this point I'm actually talking about. Actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem. What are they really all about? What are we actually working on when looking at the ecosystem? It's very, very important that we take note of all these points. I believe you guys have actually gained a lot from what I've actually talked to you guys in today's session. Please, if you're yet to actually go on board to actually key into this project. If you even know if you're not yet a VIP or you're not a this, you can actually participate in this project. You can actually participate in this airdrops. And some people, when we have a lot of airdrops coming on board, they can actually participate in these are actually good projects. You know that one thing about that any project coming on board are unique project that actually been testified, project that are actually very real in the ecosystem. Those are the kind of project that is actually most times is being listed and all that. So it is very, very important. Right now is actually a very good time for you to actually look into the market to actually key into all these projects when looking at the ecosystem and all that. So all this actually what to be talking about in today's session. I believe you guys have actually gained a lot from what I've actually shared with you guys in the course of today's section. Please and please, if you have any question, let me check. Do we have any question? Do we have any question? Okay, okay, okay. We don't have any question. Great, great. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone that's actually connected live in the course of today's session. We'll be live again tomorrow for another interesting conversation where we'll come together and learn a lot about what the market is saying. How can we actually take control of the market? What are the basic information that we need to know about the market space and all that? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you same time tomorrow for another interesting conversation. Bye, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.